What up, gamers? I figured today we're gonna do another meta review since we have Helena for like what, a month now or something, a month or like a month and a half, and this is light armor. And if you guys are like me, you hate light armor because HE guns aren't really like the greatest. They're all right, but they're not like super amazing though. So today we're doing a review on meta stuff. I got a host right now. Let's go ahead and pop this in. And my first host is done. So let's jump right into it. So this first person already has a solid score. I don't talk much about this, but just to give you guys some more insight as to why this person scored the way it did, let's take a look. So hopefully I don't show the accounts because I did last time, and it's quite embarrassing. So I might do a little bit of a delay this time in case I do show it. I don't want to, but just in case. So, backline. Duke of York, FDG, and New Jersey. Already a powerful backline because we got two heavy damage dealer and we have a support as well. So, right there, two heavy damage dealer, one support, already a solid team. In terms of fleet composition, already solid. So, backline did the most damage here. If you guys don't know already, backline does the most damage. We have FDG's gun, the 406 MK6, and the MK7. So the reason why this person built the way they did is because they gave Duke of York the FDG gun to go first. I know that this person has the gold fire control radars, and you really want to have this as well on your battleships because if you're using HE guns like these, they have about a 24-second reload. Well, these two in particular. If you want to squeeze in one more extra hit, you need a gold fire control radar in there. Luckily, New Jersey reloads very fast, so you don't really need the gold fire control radar. So that's why this person is running the build they're doing as of right now, because the gold fire control radar lets it so you can shoot one more time within the last 2 or 3 seconds. New Jersey doesn't need it because of her third skill, which gives her about I believe it's like 12% reload or something, or 10 or 12% reload. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it gives enough reload so she can shoot one more time before the timer runs out for meta fights, assuming you do time out and you don't sink before that. We have Duke of York here because Duke of York has to at least somewhat always go first, because when she goes first, she applies a debuff. That debuff makes it so all your ships do 12% more damage and whatnot. Well, I think it's backline only. I can double check real quick because I don't use the ship that much, but I'm pretty sure it's like 12% backline. So 12% for 8. Okay, is this damage in general? Okay, so it takes 12% more damage for 8 seconds. That's good. That's very good. The biggest issue with Duke of York as of right now is that this ship right here is a 2018 ship. Well, earlier in the Chinese and Japanese version, but still kind of early for us, right? With that being said, her stats are very low, especially the reload stat, which is really important for her kit. She has to have high reload, otherwise she's not going to go first. So that's why the gun is applied here, because this person wants Duke of York to at least somewhat always go first, because it applies a debuff specifically for your backline. New Jersey and FTG, they need that debuff to do more damage. And then simple loadout for everything else: accuracy, damage, the usual stuff. Very solid build, very solid. Vanguard right here, we have something I kind of use, except I don't use Aurora, I use Gion, but I'll replace Gion with Anchorage in the future, but more or less the same thing here. So HE guns, very good here. Light armor, as always. Azuma rails, Helena meta, very powerful here. We have some decent DD guns. It doesn't matter what you use at this point because the auxiliary guns doesn't help that much. It helps Azuma out, obviously, but the other two, those kind of whatever. Especially because I don't think this fleet's going to survive long term, so it's kind of whatever. Washing machines, good slots for autos for meta fights, 100%, and so forth. Washing machine, and we have the VH plating. So just like my setup, I use Gion though. I sometimes survive, sometimes I don't. It gets down to the last maybe 20 seconds or so is when your ships are going to wipe. And then you're going to lose out on 1 extra damage. So if you want the maximum damage output, First of all, the Vanguard has to survive all the way. And I'm pretty sure this person, at least for this run, that did the 210k, or 710k, survived all the way. So that's what you see here, especially this because it's probably going to be auto setup, survived all the way. So that's why you see the scores right here, because this person survived the entire fight. Helena probably had like 2 or 3 scans, and that's why you see the score you see right here. So once again, solid build, HE guns, survivability, anti-air. I mean, the anti-air doesn't really need to be there, but solid. That's exactly how I would build too. Very nice. Second person right here. Let's talk about this one. So KMS level right here. Grabs up. I'm gonna tell you right now, grabs up doesn't do that much damage to Helena Meta at all. So you're gonna have to be careful about that. Now I know why you're using this plane, because you want to have a German fighter for the efficiency thing. If you're gonna do that, make the Gear Lab one. The Gear Lab one does more damage. It's probably gonna be better than this one for sure. I'm not a fan of this one, so you can do the Gear Lab one. Dive bombers or whatever is fine, I guess. I don't know why you plus 13 the Sea Hornet unless you really like the Sea Hornet. I'm not a big fan about that. You have plus 10 Monarch guns, which is fine. I'm not a fan of the Seattle guns because battleships want more firepower for auxiliaries. So they have 30 firepower for these. So you're missing 30 firepower in total. 15 on Bismarck and 15 on Tirpitz. So you're not using a 45 firepower light cruiser gun. So do that. You have some basic anti-air right here. If you're doing these kind of fights where anti-air is not an issue, you want to have more offensive anti-air. Dido AAs, Stag Bofers, stuff like that are going to help you out right here. It's going to help you out. And I see you have double shells right here. If you're using double shells on Helena Meta, unless you have a reload buff, and I don't think Bismarck has a reload buff. Once again, I got to check real quick, but I'm pretty sure Bismarck doesn't have a reload buff to KMS. So with that being said, well, actually, no, she does. wait. Okay, yeah, 12%. Okay, I take it back. It works here. So if you can squeeze in that extra shell or the extra volley before the 2 or 3 second ends, it's fine. But the issue here is probably that you're not surviving. So you have Azuma, Mines, and Rune. I'm going to tell you right now, this fleet is very, very slow. With this build in particular, it is very, very slow. You have 2 heavy cruisers and you have a light cruiser here. With no kind of beaver badge or whatever, you're going to sink. You're going to sink hard. The gear here is fine. Honestly, it is. But the big takeaway here is that you have no heavy damage dealer right here. You have Bismarck, Tirpitz, Graf Zeppelin and stuff. The fleet is okay, just not the damage is not there. You have no real damage dealer. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Ozma did more damage than your backline right here. Just saying. So I would drop Graf Zeppelin. If you have FDG, use her. If you want to play full KMS, definitely use her. But the damage here is lacking. The stats, these 2 right here can be improved on. You can definitely use like the Mogami gun or Belfast gun, whatever you want to call it. Stag Bofers, Dido AAs right here, and so forth. So you can definitely squeeze out more damage. And honestly, I think the big takeaway here, I think you probably sunk like on the second rotation. So you probably sunk like 50 seconds in. That's what I'm thinking right here, because this damage output is very, very low. It's very, very low. Unfortunately, there's no Vanguards that buff KMS. Honestly, I say a KMS, but we're using an Ozuma, my dude. So, yeah, that has to be worked on. That has to be worked on. Use Helena. It's gonna improve your damage output by a lot. I know she's USS, but it's gonna help you out. Third person we have here is Unicorn. Unicorn does nothing here. Now I know this is a new player, right? Obviously, judging my stats alone, you're a new player, but I'm gonna help you out here just to help you out. All right. So we have a lots of thingamabobs here right now. A lot of people, when they build carriers, they want to build it to line up with debuffs and buffs or whatever, right? In this case, your Vanguards aren't a buffer. You have Neptune, Laffy, and Portland. There's no buffers here. So that being said, there's no reason for you to like go super out of the way to make a specific build or whatever. Go ahead. If you're fine on the cooldown stuff, I would rather use Hell Divers, but it is Helena meta and it's light armor, so it doesn't change that much. But that's what I would do. And then I use a homing beacon just to be a little bit faster. I'm assuming you can get an extra airstrike in time. It's not a big deal. I don't use carriers for Helena metas, so I'm not sure. If you have extra time and it's not like really tight on one more airstrike, you can keep adding more stats to it. Otherwise, if you're not making enough time to squeeze one more airstrike in, I would use homing beacons and go a little bit faster on that. Plus 10 this gun right away. It's the best HE gun in the game as of right now. Do that. Anti-air, like I said in the other one, offensive anti-air, Dido AAs, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure you don't have stag buffers, but if you do, use those. Anything that'll help you do a little bit more damage or help you improve your performance in meta fights and whatnot. Also use a gold fire control radar as well too. I'm not a fan of Warspite overall when it comes to bossing anymore. She used to be good, but there's way better choices nowadays. She's still okay, but I'm not a big fan of using her much anymore because she doesn't provide that much outside of like the occasional snipes. But that's AP based, and we're on light armor content right now, so it's not that great. And Unicorn right here, I don't know what she does. If you want damage, use a damage dealer. If you want heals, your fleet in general is not going to survive at all. So keep that in mind. You can definitely drop Neptune right here. Vanguards. The Vanguards aren't tanky. You have Portland here, which is okay. But no one else does anything here. Like there's no evasion stacking right here. You're gonna sink. Laffy obviously has high evasion, but she doesn't have 100% evasion. She's gonna sink as well too. Laffy has one of the lowest HP pools in your fleet right now. If not it's probably the lowest right now. I'm gonna say it's the lowest right now. She's gonna sink. So beef that stuff up. The gear here is somewhat all over the place, but once again, I see that you don't have many 120, so your gear is not like the greatest, but I want to see some washing machines in here. It helps the survivability. Use your HE guns as well too. It's going to help out a lot. Give Neptune a proper gun and not just this one. Give her gun if possible and whatnot. So it's going to help you out. So Vanguard I'm not a fan of or whatever. The backline can definitely be improved on, especially since battleships are very good against Helena Meta's fights. So, again, keep that in mind. Alright, well, I was going to do 2 of these, but this one took a while. Right, hope you guys enjoyed that video. Good luck on improving your skills. We have about a month or so left. I personally get around 700k myself. I can go ahead and show you guys my setup as well. Right here. So, this is what I do. This is my setup right here. Everything's very simple. You guys want to see my gear? I go ahead and show it to you guys. I was using New Jersey for something else, so that's why you see the gear I have right here. Otherwise, I would replace that with another black shell, but I was using it for something else. That's my How. That's my Richelieu. That's my Gian. That's my Helena. You can definitely replace this for Gian, the boilers. I keep it there because I use it for other things. I'm too lazy to swap and whatnot. But yeah, if you want to min-max, you can use an HE gun on Gian as well too. But again, I'm too lazy and I have it on other ships right now, so it's not that big of a deal and so forth. And that's why I use for Azuma. Azuma has no problem surviving because she has Gian's help and so forth. Nowadays, I make it to the end. On rare occasions, I do wipe, but that's very rare. But this is what I use as right now. A lot of health and whatnot. Should be okay. Not a big deal. Anyways, good luck on your performances, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video as always.